For Naomi Stagger, Tuesday nights are circus nights. What started out as a passion for juggling has expanded, and the University of Guelph grad now has new skills thanks to her 3 years attending Guelph Circus Academy.
My favorite part about circus class is that it's always a physical challenge, but also a mental challenge because you are always learning how to do new things.
Stagger is no stranger to working past challenges, and her determination has not gone unnoticed by her coach, Andrew Giordano.
She's juggling 5 rings. You know, that's a really impressive thing for any person to achieve, you know. Never mind Naomi, because she's got a whole other set of challenges to work past.
Those challenges stem from a rare disease known as congenital radial ulnar synostosis, which affects movement at her elbows. Comprised of 3 bones, the humerus in the upper arm and radius and ulna of the forearm, the elbow joint allows for flexion and extension. But that's not all it does, as U of G anatomy teaching assistant Sean Baudet explains.
The joint between the radius and the ulna allows you to flip your grip, so supinate as it's in right now, or pronate like this. As soon as we flip it into pronation, you'll see that these bones cross over, and that the radius is the only one doing the movement.
With radioulnar synostosis, the radius and ulna actually become fused at the joint.
So when these bones are basically fused together, right at the distal end of the elbow, or far end of the elbow, these bones aren't allowed to move anymore. So you're fused in a state of basically semi-prone or semi-supine grip.
And the degree to which the elbow is stuck at varies from person to person, or even elbow to elbow.
In my case, my left hand is set 5 degrees in, like that, and then won't move. And my right hand is set 5 degrees out.
It is a lack of symmetry she says she is thankful for, as it has helped her to adapt to different situations.
There are a lot of things in day-to-day life that use that rotation that most people wouldn't notice. Something as simple as turning a doorknob.
While she has had to develop her own techniques for certain instances, she has also become aware of adaptive technology for others.
The keyboard that I have is split right down the middle between keys G and H, and each side folds up independently.
But because the condition is rare and the limited range of motion affects so many situations, she has had to develop her own techniques to adapt.
Anything that I have done as an adaptation is something that I figured out myself. For example, one of the ways that I get around change at a till is to have a coin purse that has a really, really wide mouth, and I'll just get the individual at the checkout to put the change in the top.
It was the same when she was learning to juggle. And while she prefers juggling rings because she doesn't have to turn her hands over to catch them, it hasn't stopped her from trying more challenging props.
I most recently learned how to juggle clubs. Clubs I thought would be an impossible thing for me to do, but if I juggle reverse grip, then I can play too.
Giordano has tried a reverse grip and says it is much more difficult than a normal technique.
It's not very intuitive. It's like holding your hand out and then having something spin into it, and then you have to catch it at just the right moment as opposed to it falling down into your hands.
But he has never doubted her.
I know her to be a person of determination, so I knew that she'd figure out a way.
That determination is what got Stagger started in juggling when she was 12 years old.
Someone in a phys ed class told me I was never going to be able to do it. I took that as a challenge and said, I'm going to show you.
So with 5 rings and 3 clubs mastered, Stagger is looking for the next challenge to overcome. She and Giordano are learning to pass juggle.
With a little bit of tweaking of the technique, Andrew and I found a way where we can both play and have fun.
For Spoke TV, I'm Brendan Zwallenbag.